Welcome to JRTV's presentation of the Great American Race, the Winston Cup Series 20th running of the Daytona 500 for 19 previous years. The drivers have come down to the high banks of this superspeedway in Daytona Beach, Florida with one goal in mind: to win. Now, with many of those drivers retired and many new faces in this 42-car field, the 20th season of this Daytona 500 is going to be oh so much more special for many of these drivers. One driver makes his final appearance in the Daytona 500. He'll start fifth today. That's Trey, but they're all chasing the man who stunned the world. Starting on pole, Sergio Higuita, claiming pole for the single-car Jasper Motorsports team, and those who keep it up there among the powerhouses like Hendrick Motorsports, Richard Childress Racing, along with Joe Gibbs Racing. It's going to be a fun day of competition here at Daytona. I'm Joe Rakowski up in the booth for this amazing event here at the Daytona 500, the 20th Winston Cup Series season, about to get underway with its first points race. 40 laps at Daytona around this 2.5-mile speedway. No pit stops will be required. The league officials have created bigger fuel cells, more durable tires to make sure no pit stops occur for fuel or tires throughout this 40-lap event. So it'll be straightforward. The only time you need to pit is if you have an issue or some damage to that race car. And with 42 cars, the first time all 42 cars will be on the track at the same time in the same pack. Watch out for the big one. It lurks around every corner. We've seen it in the past here at Daytona. It can claim 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30 cars at points depending on where it happens in the pack. So watch out for that, and watch out for Bill Davis Racing. All three of their cars start inside the top 10. Maybe one of the teams that you aren't expecting to start up towards the front or run up towards the front. Three of their cars start inside the top 10. Two of their cars finished 1, 2 in Gatorade Duel number 2 here at Daytona just a few days ago. It's going to be a fun race. We're getting down to the green flag time. Before we get going, though, we have to get those most famous words in motorsports to fire these cars up. Let's go down trackside to hear the command.
Runners, start your engines!
The field rolls off 42 cars strong to take the green flag in the Great American Race for the 20th season. Some powerhouse teams like Hendrick Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, Richard Childress Racing, all trying to show that they are still at the top, while teams like Jasper Motorsports, Bill Davis Racing, Team Sapco, Andy Petrie Racing, all look to try and catch them and claim their victory in this Great American Race. Look at some storylines before we get going. Obviously, Bill Davis Racing, they have to be very pleased. Alex Chastain, the team leader there, has to be very pleased with how their team did in the Gatorade Duels just 2 days ago. Two of their cars, 1, 2 Gatorade Duel number 2. Laura Chung, their lone car in Gatorade Duel number 1, got a top 10 out of that one and will start in the 9th position for this race. What a great story it was for Bill Davis Racing. They look to have some major speed here at Daytona. We'll see if they can keep it in this 40-lap race. Go back just a little ways to look just outside the top 10 at the 18 of Chris Jericho and Joe Gibbs as a whole. They are a team that is used to running up towards the front and having fast cars every week. However, they struggled slightly here at Daytona, not showing top 10 pace, but more like top 15, top 20 pace. Jericho starts just outside the top 10. Matherswell starts deeper in the field. We'll watch for them try and work their way up towards the front. And also, don't count out the Penske Fords as well. Luke Rainey and the 12 as well. They don't start well. They start pretty poor in this race. They haven't shown much speed. Luke Rainey outside the top 30 in happy hour. They're looking to find some pace here at Daytona for the main event. They both start poorly towards the second half of the pack. But as they come off forward, the pace car will make the left turn to pit road and lead the field in the hands of Sergio Higuita and Justin Zeidel, the two drivers that qualified on the front row. We'll see what they can do in this 40-lap race. The Daytona 500 for 2000, the Winston Cup Series 2000 season is green flag racing. You can already see the strength of those Hendrick Motorsports Chevys. They'll battle side by side to lead the first lap. Keegan Thompson leads the first lap of the season in the 5, just how he left off in Gatorade Duel number 1. He led the final lap in victory lane for that one. Zero, though, his teammate moves to the inside, grabs lead through 1 and 2. Chris Jericho in the 18 will move up to second. Riley Spurgeon failed a post-qualifying inspection. Got a good result in the duel. He's up to third now, looking for second down the backstretch with Jacob Boyd and his teammate Jordan Stout right in his hip pocket. But by the front, Jericho and Sierra able to keep it clear for now. Now Jericho under fire from Spurley to the 28 will barely get to the inside. Brett Sierra in the 25 able to maintain the lead for now as they race through turns 3 and 4. Riley Spurgeon will move to second. Here comes Jacob Boyd, the 21 up to third. Jordan Stout, Spurgeon's teammate, trying to join him. But here comes Boyd now for a second on Spurgeon and 3 wide as Jordan Stout moved to the inside. Sierra leads the second lap for Hendrick Motorsports. Roush Racing cars are on the inside. Sebastian Kukla and Colin Teague, the 17, the 6. They're lined up, pushing Jordan Stout through as it's 3 Fords lined up on the Hendrick Chevrolet of Brett Sierra. And his teammate Justin Zeidel has gotten back down low now, trying to come to the front. But Stout and Kukla trying to stay committed down the backstretch to gain on that 25 of Brett Sierra. See what they can do here as they race off to turns 3 and 4. Sierra leads the pack. The front 5 get down to the bottom. Jose Mills, the 7. Coming to the bottom. Luke Rainey, the 2, already on the bottom, making some gains towards the front of the field. They race off 4. Front field line. Teague moves out and his teammate Kukulan. And Stout still behind Sierra, who leads the 3rd lap of this great American race. Jordan Stout now looking for a way to get around Brett Sierra, but staying with them as they race off to turns 1 and 2. Teague on teammate Kukulan for 3rd. Luke Rainey comes to the bottom with the 66 car. How about Haas Carter Motorsports and Mitch Corbett moving up to the front? They've shown some decent pace in the pack here in this draft, so watch for them to be maybe a contender at the end of this if they can stay in the main pack and get up to the front at the end. Colin Teague now moves out for the 2nd spot on Jordan Stout. Colin Teague moves to 2nd, but they're still chasing Brett Sierra in the 25. Rainey for 3rd now, getting a push from Mitch Corbett, who's up inside the top 5. Here comes another Roush Racing car. That's the number 99 this time of Keyshawn Richardson. Conrad Evans pushing Keyshawn through, and here comes Mathis Wells for Joe Gibbs Racing. The 42 of Caden Lynn for Team Sabco. And just behind them for Andy Peachy Racing, that's Lathan Strickland in the 33. There's a lot of different teams up towards the front currently here at Daytona. Still at the front. Sierra now under fire. There goes Teague to the bottom with Luke Rainey and Jordan Stout. Luke, though, couldn't get inside to get with the 6 because Jordan Stout was down there. Stout will move for 3rd and now move for 2nd as Colin Teague moves out in front here at Daytona. It looks like he's going to lead this lap as they race off 4. Stout up to 2nd. Conrad Evans for Richard Childress Racing showing some pace. He'll move 3 wide for the 2nd spot now. Evans poking out of line with Mathis Wells, his nearest help in the 20 car. See some cars back there just starting to kind of fade back, not necessarily losing the draft, maybe just kind of staying back there and trying to stay out of this madness that could happen throughout this race, because we see this 3 wide, but at some point someone might make a mistake and it could cause the big one if it happens up towards the front of the field. Maybe those drivers back there are starting to lay back and maybe just trying to stay out of any chaos that could happen in front of them early on as all these cars are packed together and they're getting a little antsy. Conrad Evans for the lead at Daytona for Richard Childress Racing. Their team owner Cam Wright has to love the position his team is in. Trey Bardo making his final appearance at the Daytona 500, his final start at this great American race, his final season of competition, over 60 wins. They have the rookie Conrad Evans to learn off of Trey Bardo. If they decide to keep Conrad beyond this season, he can definitely learn a lot and use Bardo's, confidence and skill that he has to try and learn and be a better race car driver in the future. And Conrad definitely has one of the better teams under him, just like we see with Chris Jericho with the 18, Trey Rainey, the previous driver of that car. And my goodness, there's a lot to live up to if you're Chris Jericho in that 18. But here comes Robert Yates Racing's Riley Spurgeon to the inside. He wants to lead at Daytona and get those bonus points for leading a lap. Trey Bardo moving up to 2nd in the 3. And how about Petty Enterprises, Ryan Wilson moving up to the front. Roberto Crown Jr. has to love seeing that 44 approach to the front. Here comes another smaller team. The 11 of Logan Williams and Anthony Hernandez for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated moves up to the front. Here comes Wilson for the lead at Daytona. 3 wide on Trey Bardo and Riley Spurgeon. Spurgeon led that last lap as they're now 3 wide, multiple rows deep in this pack. It's getting a little aggressive here at Daytona. But some of the smaller teams, Sergio Higuita is moving up to the front again in the 77. Start on pole, got put 3 wide in turn 1, lap 1. But now Higuita's coming back, pushing Hernandez to the inside, 3 wide for the lead. It's getting awfully close to the front now. They're racing very aggressively. We're not even a quarter of the way done with this race. Another Chevrolet team moves out in front. That's Anthony Hernandez for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. Dale Lightning, the team owner there. Here comes Sergio Higuita, driver owner for that number 77 Jasper Motorsports entry. Moving up to the front. Same could be said for Jacob Boyd in the 21. At the back of the pack, a few cars have lost the draft. As we go and look, it's the 60 Nathan Barrett, the 26 Nolan Lawrence. That's a shock there. And then the 43 Zachary DeLow. Those were 2 cars that showed some pace in the drafting practice. Obviously, they haven't had it right now. Brandon Beal also on the brink of losing the draft in the 94. He's barely clinging on, it looks like, at the moment, but he might lose it in a little bit. Up front, Sergio Higuita, the pole sitter, leads this race. Matthew Burnett fast in both practices, both the first practice and happy hour. Burnett moves up to second. Here comes Anderson Reed in the 40 car. Reed moves inside. How about this number 10 of Walker Davis has shown 0 pace so far this week. Not in the practices, not in his duel, but here he is up into the top 5, going for third and pushing Anderson Reed to the lead. So the 10 now showing the pace in the race. Anderson Reed for Team Sabco leads it. Griffin Lynn, a past champion for Team Sabco, now owns the team, and hoping that that team can get another championship this season. However, they are just a little bit behind those big name teams. Here comes Nathan Stapleton, heads up from Jack Haas, one of those fast Bill Davis entries. As Stapleton gets right up to the back of Anderson Reed, drafting up nicely onto the 40. Roush Racing, another pretty big organization. I think Brandon Beal latched on. He did in the 94, so that number 94 Billy Racing entry still in the main draft is too close to caught the line. Anderson Reed led that lap by maybe a few 1,000ths of a second. As Stapleton gets forced clear into turn 1. Jack Haas moves through. How about that number 9 car? Bippy Ruiz moving up. Nice run for him up to 3rd place, and that number 9 for Melling Racing. And now he's going for 2nd. Nice move there to the inside, down in front of the number 12 entry, Mitchell Collins. Some more cars that we haven't really talked about much so far this week. The number 8 of Eli Bright now making his name known to the front. How about number 14, Luca Iger? Lost the draft in his duel, never got to show any pace, but Iger now making moves up towards the front, pushing the number 66 and the number 8 to the front of the field, as now the battle for 2nd is on. Collins is inside of Baby Ruiz as Nathan Stapleton pulls away with a nice lead, and that Roush Racing number 97. See if Bright and Collins stay committed here. But this is the first pace that DEI number 8 has shown this week. They have had 0 pace. The 1 has had some slight pace, but the 8 hasn't had much. So it's great to see Eli Bright now running up towards the front inside the top 3. Now he's going for 2nd on Mitchell Collins. Luca Iger just trying to stay up towards the front, trying to stay in this draft, and doing a nice job right now. Up towards the front, Jay Brando, our Gatorade duel number 2 winner, dominating that one. So kind of shocking to see he hasn't had much of the same pace here today, but trying to move his way back up to the front now, up inside the top 5 for the first time today. Jose Mills with them in the 7. Caden Lynn coming back. You have Brett Sierra coming back, led early on. Roger Ray was fast in the happy hour practice session. Topped the charts, and that was the only driver to run down in the 44-second bracket. Luke to his inside goes 3 wide as Eli Bright gaining on Stapleton as they race through turns 1 and 2 in this draft. That 8 car sucks up right to the back of the 97, so it looks like they figured out some of the issues on that 8 car in terms of the draft and whatnot. Eli now making some moves up. For 3rd, 3 wide goes Brett Sierra on Jose Mills and Caden Lynn. Sierra getting a nice push from the 17 of Sebastian Kukulan and Conrad Evans in the 3rd one. How about right between the 17 and the 3rd one? Brandon Beal was losing the draft just a few laps ago, but the draft gets him back up here, and now Beal is back up on the inside lane, now inside the top 5. Good run for that team because they have not had a great week so far. Look at Sierra and Kukulan. Tandem to the bottom, but Kukulan goes low 3 wide. Conrad Evans with them. Brandon Beal shuffled out to the middle. Colin Teague shuffles Evan Hunter to the middle. Here comes number 88 and the number 28. Robert Yates Racing Cars working together. Matthew Hill, their team owner, sees their 2 cars on the bottom and hoping that they can stay committed and together to run down that number 97. As here goes Evans for 2nd. Colin Teague, Nathan Stapleton's teammate and Kukulan's teammate, moving up with that 31. Evans will move to 2nd. Colin Teague in the 6. Pushing the 31 up as well. Now Teague up to 3rd. Jordan Stout and Riley Spurley to be. Here comes Evans for the lead at Daytona. He'll get inside Stapleton. He has help from Stout, Spurlington, Wells, and Jericho. The two Joe Gibbs cars with Jake Gow as their team owner are together. And here comes Stout low. Looks like Spurlington's going to go with them. Jordan Stout right for the lead. This has been incredible racing so far here today at Daytona. And I think it's all thanks to that wicker bill atop the top of the car and top of the roof. That wicker bill, kind of like an added spoiler, creates more drag on these cars, which allows for these fast speeds and the nice closing distance that we see. The closing rate so big. Stout and Spurtube for Robert Yates lead off turn number 4. They're 1 and 2. Jericho wants to end that. He'll look low for second now on Spurtube. Has Keegan Thompson, the Gatorade Duel number 1 winner, with him. Look at that pack, still about 39 or so strong as they race off to turns 1 and 2. Incident free so far. Will it stay like that is the big question. Keegan Thompson moves up to second behind Jordan Stout. His teammate Justin Seidel also moves with them. Now Thompson low for the lead, down in front of his other teammate Brett Sierra. All three of those cars kind of moving towards the front. Seidel to the outside, to the inside for Brett Sierra and Keegan Thompson. Jose Mills and Logan Williams also down the bottom. If you're Aiden Robertson, Hendricks team owner, you're definitely liking how fast your cars look. You were one of the favorites entering this race, and you're showing why that team was the favorite to possibly win this great American race. They're right now 1-2 with Thompson and Sierra pulling away. Sierra looks to take a step out on Thompson, but Keegan works that to get down to the inside. Williams will move up to third, Ryan Wilson to fourth, and Laura Chung, first time I mentioned the 23 all day long, she's up to fifth. Caden Lynn up to sixth. Here comes Baby Rose back. Matthew Burnett coming back for the lead. Brett Sierra on teammate Keegan Thompson. Sierra led early on in this race for a few laps. He's looking to lead some more as the 25 will move out front through 3 and 4. Brett Sierra leads the Great American Race. Ryan Wilson for second now in that 44 for Petty Enterprises. Their other cars, Zachary DeLello, lost the draft. He's back there with Nolan Lawrence. I believe we had another one lose the draft as well, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was the 60 of Nathan Baird. So those are the only 3 right now out of the draft. We still have 39 cars in this pack, 39 strong. 3 wide for a majority of it at the front double file, towards the back double and single file as they try and just keep with the draft. And here's 2 Penske cars lined up, Mitchell Collins and Luke Rainey on the bottom, and then 2 Andy Petrie cars of Roger Ray leading Lathan Strickland up the super stretch. Anderson Reed moving down, Noah Clifton 4 wide. Oh gosh, Rando and Mills are rubbing. Jamie Stanworth Jr. to their inside. Stanworth lifts to give Rando room. What a great racing move there by Stanworth to give everyone room to make sure that wasn't 4 wide there. That could have been a crash. Great job by Stanworth there, knowing the situation, just saying, I'm going to lift here as the last one into that situation. Laura Chung led her first lap of the day here at Daytona. Caden Lynn now looks inside for the lead. And number 66, Mitch Corbett, still hanging around the front. TJ Henley, their team owner. Haas Carter Motorsports. Noah Clifton is PPI Motorsports entry, single car organization. Moving up. Down the backstretch, Clifton with a nice push from Anderson Reed and Jordan Stout to the inside. As Chung almost powers around that number 42 on the outside. Caden Lynn barely held inside of Laura Chung, and my gosh, that was... Oh, there they go! Into the wall hard! It looks like Trey Bartles on his side in turns 3 and 4 in the outside wall. They race back to the yellow flag. And it looks like it will be the number 42, Caden Lynn, leading on the first yellow just before the midpoint here at Daytona. It was a big one in 3 and 4. Number 21, Jacob Boyd. The number 1 of Anthony Hernandez involved. Jose Mills and Kukulon. Riley Spurgeon as well. There's Trey Bardo driving away, but the damage to the 3 cars so severe. Maybe Teagan Beal also involved. Mathis Wells may be involved. It looked like it was around mid-pack. And the yellow flag strikes. Oh, they've wrecked. They've wrecked under the yellow. Jamie Stanford Jr. and Jordan Stout have wrecked. Now, how bad is the damage on those 2 cars is the question. And was there anyone else involved? They were running up in 6th for Stout. I don't know how Stanworth was involved because Stanworth was in 11th. They weren't even near each other. Yellow is out for the first time at Daytona. We're just about to take midway in this race, and an accident folds in turns 3 and 4. We had a few close calls the lap prior with some 4 wide, but this time it strikes, and many cars go hard into the outside concrete. Trey Bardo in the air. His final Daytona 500 start, and it looks like it's going to end without a victory. The caution is out at Daytona. Let's go take a look at some replays to see what happened. This was 4 wide around mid-pack, and we saw how the previous 4 wide, someone was able to back out of this. This one, there was just no way someone's going to be able to back out. And you can see Spurgeon trying to give Bardo room. Hernandez trying to give Spurgeon room. They just get down. They run out of room into Boyd, into Mills. And the 3 will get sandwiched into the outside wall, ride the wall. Then you can see Wells come off the wall. He gets Kukul on the 17. Colin Teague and Brandon Beal right in the middle of this. Beal gets bounced around a little bit right there by Spurgeon, but then able to get by. And then Colin Teague as well in the 6. He's kind of right around the madness. He gets low, meets his teammate Kukulon, but does drive away. And I don't know how bad the damage will be on that 6 car, but it could have been a lot worse for Colin Teague for sure. So I would say that was the medium one here at Daytona. We saw about 5, 6, 7 cars get collected in this one. Let's go take a look in real time, though, and see what happened. Here it is in real time. 4 wide just kind of forms. You can see Mills was kind of running up the track with Trey Bardo, and 3 cars got to his inside, and it was on from there. A hard hit for Bardo, and some other big contenders go around. Spurgeon was one we were going to watch out for sure. Kukulon and Teague, and Trey Bardo for sure, definitely a contender. Let's go on board with a few cars. Let's first start with Trey Bardo in that 3. You're on board now with Bardo. Just listen to it. That came from nowhere right there. That was insane. So let's go forward with Riley Spurgeon with 28. Right in the middle of this 4 wide, and you can see it coming, but nothing he could do. Look at all the cars that got to the apron and missing. Great job by those drivers. Unfortunately for these about 7, 8, they couldn't avoid it. That was a big one here at Daytona. So now we'll see what happened under the yellow. Jordan's down, maybe some others got some damage off turn number 2. So here's what happened. They're sorting it out under the yellow, and Brett Sierra just gets down too low and will get into Randall, which gets him into Stout, and they go right up, and poor Noah Clifton, who is having such a good race, gets put into the outside wall. There's probably some pretty good damage on that 32, and now as the 88 spinning around, he'll come right down the track, and it looks like right into another single car team of Jamie Stanmore Jr., so that's heartbreak. Higuita runs into Luke Rainey, but I don't think that's bad damage at all. I think just about everyone else was able to get it stopped or get it slowed down at least to make sure they did not pile in as well, so heartbreak there for those drivers, especially the single car teams, the 32 and the 71. They should have some damage along with the 88 of Jordan Stout. Caution is out for a wild wreck just before the midpoint here at Daytona. We'll go green just a few laps as we come back to you. Trey Bardo on his side, but leading the race. Caden Lann in the 42 looks to win it. Welcome back to the Daytona International Speedway. The first accident of the day just finished with cleanup, as a about 7, 8 car pileup in turns 3 and 4 is the reason for the first caution flag of the 20th Daytona 500. We do have a few retirees. It is Jacob Boyd, it is Riley Spurgeon, and it is Trey Bardo in his final Daytona 500 out of this race. 39 cars left running, but definitely some of them have some damage. You have to look at obviously the 1 of Anthony Hernandez, the 7 of Jose Mills, and the 20 of Matt as well as some of those drivers. Jordan Stout came down the pit lane with Evan Hunter, so they'll be at the back as well. Some drivers like Nathan Barrett have some life now, along with Nolan Lawrence and Zachary DeLello. That yellow puts them back up into the draft, and if there are not many damaged cars in front of them, if they are fast enough, they can try and stay with this draft. So at the front, it is Caden Lann in the 42. In second place, we have Laura Chung. Noah Clifton will have some damage in third. How bad is it? Anderson Reed in fourth, so the Team Stabco cars first and fourth, and rounding out the top 5, Brett Sierra. Mitch Corbett is 6th, Jay Rando is 7th, Ryan Wilson in 8th, Matthew Burnett 9th, and Jamie Stanmore Jr. How bad is the damage? He's in 10th. As we come back to the green flag here at Daytona, Caden Lann with the race lead. And we are back to going in the Daytona 500. Laura Chung for the lead at Daytona on the restart. Noah Clifton's damage does look worse than they had originally thought because he is thrown out the inside lane. And I think the same could be said for the outside lane, Jamie Stammer Jr. I think those two cars, even though it didn't look like terrible contact, it looks like it is enough to slow their cars up. Stanworth on the outside now falling back, and also Bill Noah Clifton now falling back. He'll move up to what looks like maybe the outside to let some drivers through. Jordan Stout losing the draft with the damage on the 88 car. All came once again from the yellow flag incident. As Clifton down the outside 3 wide, he'll drop back. Anderson Reed for the lead in the 40 on Laura Chung. He took it, and now down in front of Brett Sear he goes. How about Ryan Wilson racing up at the front of the field in the 44? It's a great story for Penny Enterprises for sure. There goes Sierra low in front of Wilson down the backstretch. Now Wilson gets shuffled out by the number 16 of Matthew Burnett. 200 cars coming to join their teammate at the front. Brett Sear leads, and Keegan Thompson's up to third, and Zidell going for fourth on Ryan Wilson. They have Lathan Strickland in tow as well. Back there, Caden Lynn starting to come back as it's looking like it might be a Hendrick 1-2-3 as they cross the start-finish line. They moved inside Matthew Burnett, but now Zidell moves low on Thompson for second place. Well, this is Hendrick 1-2-3 for a short-lived moment because Lathan Strickland's going to take third in an instant. Strickland up to third behind Zidell, behind Sierra. As Sierra still leads Zidell up the super stretch. Go back and take a look at some of these cars back here. You have the 4 via Pence from Morgan McClure Motorsports. Haven't really called his name today, but he's just quietly staying with the pack. Eli Bright the 8, and how about the number 99 Keyshawn Richardson? They have Jack Haas and Colin Teague trying to latch on along. DeLello and Higuita and Jericho and Luke Rainey. And then there's where some of the damaged cars like Clifton is, but I think he's still holding up some drivers because look like Mitchell Collins is faster. He's trying to get around along with the 11 of Logan Williams, maybe even Jay Randall, Evan Hunter, and Nolan Lawrence. So there might be still some drivers that are going to get stuck behind some damaged cars because of what happened there, and they might lose the draft. Like some of these guys right here, they might be losing the draft because of that. They're hoping that they can just latch onto it. Sears hoping he can break away from the draft. The 25 looking strong out in front. Conrad Evans, another powerhouse team for Richard Childress Racing. Moving inside in the 31, has help from Roger Ray in the 55, who was fast once again in the drafting practice of Happy Hour. Caden Lynn looks fast, so that 42 has been pretty good here today. He's moving up on Sear and moves inside for the lead. Those Team Sabco cars, they are not messing around here at Daytona, and Caden Lynn has shown that he is here to play. Caden Lynn will lead the Daytona 500. Roger Ray up for second now. Nathan Stapleton on the inside in the 97 with a nice run up on Conrad Evans. Stapleton up inside the top 5 and wanting more up the super stretch. It's like Luke Rainey, Chris Jericho, maybe even Zachary DeLello are going to latch on with this draft, thankfully. Almost a 4-eyed moment. Looks like Anderson Reed was looking on Keyshawn, but thought better of it. Front 2 gets single file. Roger Ray behind Caden Lynn. Stapleton will pull out for second now. Luca Iger with him. That 14 team can't say enough about the gains they've made over this week. They've not been terribly fast, but they're working it out, and here they are, racing up towards the front of the field at Daytona. Iger for third. And Stapleton barely could not get inside of Caden Lynn. The 4-2 barely got down in line, and that could have been a big crash if things went differently. Luckily, everyone kept it out, but now it's 3 green cars leading the way. Lynn and Stapleton and Iger as Stapleton wants the lead in the 97 car. Nathan Stapleton through 3 and 4. He'll be the race leader at Daytona. Luca Iger moving up for second. He also has Yepez with him. Yepez I thought was going to show a lot more speed than he did so far this week, but here is that 4 car now racing up into the top 5 to third. He'll go. Nice Keyshawn Richardson to his inside. Iger's getting a nice push from Yepez, trying to get up to the lead, but Stapleton doing a great job. That 97 looks strong right now. Keyshawn Richardson, Staples' teammate, will move up to third. Anderson Reed, we mentioned, you can't count out the Team Sabco cars. Both of them look fast, and Reed's trying to show that as Richardson tries to block him off to get down on Luca Iger. And here comes Jack Haas, here comes Colin Teague. He was near that big crash, got bounced around a little bit in it, but the 6 car is still going along strong. Colin Teague up into the top 10 after missing that crash, and maybe some 4 wide. Oh, Matthew Burnett got close there. It looks like Ruiz maybe lifted to give him some lanes, but that could have been big right there. He had some pretty big cars there on the outside, like Zidell and Thompson, so if something happened, that would have been pretty big. Hunter losing draft. Our pulls are Higuita and Jay Randall losing draft. So Higuita, the pull, speed not showing up in the race form, and for Jay Randall, that Gatorade dual speed not showing up. Look at these big moves mid-pack as we're down to the final 10 laps. This is where drivers are going to start getting a little bit more aggressive in this one. They're going to start making those big moves and starting to force it in places where it maybe shouldn't be forced, and it could lead to an accident like we're seeing back here. Laura Chun's running a little bit wider. Strickland looked to her inside, but thought better of it, got back in line. Oh, look at Iger, though, making a big move to the middle. Wants to try and get down to the bottom as quick as he can. As for a second, Reed had it. Jericho wants it. Luke Rainey wants it. I think for Luke Rainey, he has some big shoes to fill in terms of not just the two-car, Derek Bouchard, but his brother, Trey Rainey, who was very, very successful. Luke also wants to have that same amount of success, if not more. Luke doing a good job right now with the car that maybe is not the best out here, as he has not had some pace in this speed week. Well, Jericho's getting a nice run. Oh, Burnett, though, changes that. Burnett wants to keep his teammate out in front. He wants a Roush Racing 1-2. Burnett for second, keeping Stapleton clear in the lead. Here comes Brett Seaver back to the front with Caden Lynn, as it's now Roush Racing 1-2. Burnett right behind Stapleton, looks low for the lead. Matthew Burnett with 8 laps to go. He'll go for the lead on Stapleton. Caden Lynn coming inside Sierra. How about Baby Rose and Ryan Wilson? Two of the lesser-known teams moving to the front. And Evan Hunter for NB2 Motorsports latched onto the draft to 36, now still in this main pack. Yeah, at the moment, it looks like we have 26 cars with a shot at this Daytona 500. The question is, how are the 1, the 7, the 20, and the 88 going to be as lap traffic? If we don't get yellow, do we catch them? Caden Lynn for the lead at Daytona. Bippy Ruiz and Ryan Wilson and Luca Iger, his pushers. How about these lesser teams going against the powerhouses on the outside? Look at the cars on the outside, those big teams. Roush Racing, Hendrick Motorsports, Penske, Richard Childress, Joe Gibbs, they're all on the outside, but on the inside, Sabco and Melling and Petty Enterprises, AJ Foyt Racing, Bill Davis Racing, Brett Bodine Racing. They're all on the inside, making it work against the powerhouse teams on the outside. 7 to go, and Bippy Ruiz leads at Daytona. Ryan Wilson, he wants the lead now. Wilson moving out. Iger might be oh, there they go, contact for the lead. It was the 42 and the 9, they rubbed. Now Stapleton moves up, they might be 4 wide. The 16 lets them in line, they're back to 3. But Ruiz and Lynn made contact for the lead, and somehow they sorted out. 6 to go at the line. It's getting pretty intense here at Daytona. Bippy Ruiz leads with 6 laps to go. The pack getting a lot more aggressive. Iger for second on Wilson. The number 93 moving up, Jack Haas for Bill Davis. Iger for AJ Foyt, that single car. Owner driver. And now Haas looks to his inside. Mitchell Collins on the inside. Logan Williams, Mitch Corbett, Roger Ray, Eli Bright. Who is going to time it right, though, here at Daytona? And can Bippy Ruiz for Melling hold on and win? Jack Haas looks to change that for Bill Davis Racing. To the inside, 5 laps to go at Daytona. This race is at the point of no return. We're past the red flag lap in this race. So if we get a yellow, if it's big enough, it would end it. And we have lap traffic ahead just off turn 2. It's Mills and Hernandez, Wells and Stout. Maybe Stanworth as well, but that looks like it'll be it. Haas, Corbett. Corbett for the lead. Haas, Carter, Motorsports. Can they find victory? How about NB2 Motorsports, Evan Hunter? Corbett moves out in front. Coming around to 4 to go. Eli Bright in position on the inside. Lathan Strickland, Keegan Thompson, Evan Hunter, Colin Teague. How about Zachary DeLello's out of the draft until that yellow, but now he's up in it at the 43. It's time to get busy. 4 to go. Strickland for second. Corbett still leads. Thompson, the winner of Gatorade Duel number 1, as traffic is ahead and looming large. Who do they hold up? They're side by side. That is not what these leaders want to see. As Strickland gets pushed clear, now where does he go? He's going to look around the outside of Anthony Hernandez, but now Mills moves up, and now the bottom will go. Keegan Thompson to the lead at Daytona in the 5. Evan Hunter trying to move through on the inside as well, along with Colin Teague, DeLello, and others. So the outside middle lanes are held up. The question is, though, with this getting hold up, if they get 4 wide, it could end the race. So you want to be leading at any point. Because look at, they are 4 wide. Oh no, if they wreck, it's over. Eli trying to get up into a hole to make sure that it's not 4 wide, but there's still 4. Evans trying to move down. Stapleton and Eli Bright. It looks like they're going to sort it back to 3 and keep this race going for now. We'll move back up to the front as the pack has been split. Thompson now leads this race. Now Wells and Stout. 2 more lap cars with 3 to go. Thompson around the outside. Teague and Hunter and DeLello and others look for a way. Thompson slices back to the inside, trying to get as much draft as he can. Teague will move through, but has a massive run, entering turns 3 and 4 with Evan Hunter in tow. Wells moved down. This could just be 3 cars now, because Wells moved down now, is holding up that lane. But if these 3 start to battle, watch out. What do Teague and Hunter do? You know, Evan Hunter's not just going to sit there with 2 to go. He needs to win this race. That would be a huge opportunity for that small team. I think the rest of this pack might be out of it. With those lap cars, the 88 and the 20 with 2 to go, I don't think there's enough time. Maybe there is. We'll have to see. They have Jamie Stammer Jr. ahead. How does Thompson fare around the 71? What can Hunter and Teague do with it? Thompson. Oh, no! The 71 blocks the 5. Now he's trying to give room to Thompson. And here comes Colin Teague 3 wide. Now there's life for that pack back there because all these 3 are held up. Thompson around the outside, but Hunter is still to his middle. White flag this time by the Daytona 500. The whole pack is here. Looking for a way around Jamie Stammer Jr. They can't find it. Thompson's going to find it on the outside. He'll take the white flag with the lead. Next flag ends the race. Thompson, Teague are 1-2. Who gets back around with the win? That's too big of a lead for Thompson. Colin Teague and Lathan Strickland and Matthew Brenner could be on him so fast here. But that's if they stay committed. Down the backstretch for the final time. Strickland moves out. Now they've out for second. Burnett goes with Strickland. Burnett looks 3 wide. Thompson able to maintain the gap. Stapleton and Chung also on the inside. Eli Bright and Keyshawn Richardson. But at the head of the pack, it's Hendrick Motorsports' Keegan Thompson. Filling in for the only 3-time champion Jeff Bright. He won Gatorade Duel number 1. He'll win the Daytona 500. Keegan Thompson has won the Great American Race. Keegan Thompson, that was masterful for the 5. As they all were trying to catch him in the draft, Thompson was able to stay out in front and win this race. What a story it is. The only 3-time champion Jeff Bright retires at season's end. Keegan Thompson, the rookie, is the one to take over for him. And my goodness, it looks like it's paying off. He won Gatorade Duel number 1. He wins the Daytona 500 for Hendrick Motorsports. He was the only Hendrick car to place inside the top 10 here today. As we look at the finishing results, Thompson with the win, Burnett second, Stapleton a 3rd place, Laura Chung in 4th, and how about Lathan Strickland in 5th? Eli Bright, after showing no pace at all this week, gets 6th. Keyshawn Richardson 7th. How about all those Roush cars up there at the end? We had 4 of the 5 inside the top 10. Colin Teague got 8th, Anderson Reed 9th, and Mitch Corbett, that was a really good run for him in 10th. Luca Iger, that was a really good run in 11th. Chris Jericho gets 12th. Logan Williams 13th, Luke Rennie 14th, Evan Hunter with the 15th. Mitchell Collins gets 16th, Justin Zeidel in 17th. You have Roger Ray, Zachary DeLello, and Ryan Wilson completing the top 20. Looked like it could have been more for Brett Sear, Caden and Lynn. They get 21st and 22nd. I think obviously lap traffic had some sort of say in how they finished in with Conrad Evans in 24th. And as we look at the rest of the finishing results, there are some names there like Higuita 31st, Rando 32nd, where you really would have thought that they would have been more contenders, but they just lost the draft there after that restart and could not hold it. But what an ending to the Daytona 500. It was a crazy one for sure. We saw a lot unfold in this great American race. Well, what a way to kick off the 2000 season here in the Winston Cup Series. Keegan Thompson from Hendrick Motorsports, one of the powerhouse teams, strikes first and wins here at Daytona. Tune in next week as we head out west to the California Speedway for the California 500, race number 2 of the season on JRTV. It's going to be a fun one out there in California for sure. More fast speeds at that racetrack. Thanks everyone for watching this presentation of the Winston Cup Series 2000 Daytona 500. We'll see you guys next week in California.